All right, you wanna get into it? Give me a call on that Skype deal. Let's do it. I didn't mute myself, by the way. I'm too lazy. Hey, don't worry. I said I didn't mute
Uh, can,
myself,
can,
so
can, can you give me like a couple minutes? Hold up, like 2 minutes.
dude, take your time, man. It's all good.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, nothing much, man.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, nothing much, dude.
Not really. I
Yeah,
had like
me neither.
what?
Really?
Okay, cool. I'm doing Beyond the Rift
Yeah.
like now, so
Okay,
be busy for like the next hour.
that sounds good.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Yep, no
Bye.
problem.
All right, I'm
Okay,
good.
I'm gonna then give me the call on Skype and let's get it underway, dude.
All right, let's go.
Are you ready, dude? You ready to get
I'm
it
ready.
underway?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Then let us begin. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the one and only. You know what time it is, Scar. What time is it?
Dude, it's time for Beyond the Rift, man.
That's what time it is. That's what's up. Let me go and let me do something real quick. I'm gonna do something real. How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Today on Beyond the Rift, we're gonna be discussing a lot of topics that aren't for the faint of heart. And by that I mean I haven't checked out any of the topics yet. But they might not be for the faint of heart. So people with the faint hearts, get out right now. You're not going to want to see this. But for everyone else, it's the one and only Mr. I'm a Cutie Pie, Mr. Michael I'm a Cutie Pie Santana, the world's best AD carry in League of Legends. And joining me today, the one and only, the co-host, the host with the most, it is...
It's me. I'm Scar, guys. Hey, what's up?
It's Scar, that guy. All right. We're going to be going right into it. But before we do that, we're not actually going right into it because we're going to talk about Discord, dude. We're going to have a live Q&A at the end of this stream. If you want to ask questions, if you want to let us know how you're feeling, dude, you want to ask Cutie Pie and Scar, why are you two so good and you're not playing in the LCS? Go ahead and ask that, dude. You can ask anything on the Discord and we will choose what we want to answer. But please be my guest and asking anything that you would like. But I would also like to give a shout out to Bloody, a wonderful sponsor. I got my Bloody headset on right now. Probably one of my favorite pieces of gaming gear that I've ever purchased with my hard-earned money. And I would buy 10 of them if I had that kind of money. But sadly, I don't. But you do, so buy 10 of them, chat. But let's get it underway, Scar. Are you ready to begin with topic number 1?
Oh, I'm ready. Especially because you haven't seen them. I'm excited. They're actually pretty good this week.
You're pretty
I mean,
good, dude.
I mean, they're good every week, but this week especially good.
Then topic number 1, baby. Let's get it underway. Dardoch to Echo Fox and Team Liquid to use Arc Second in the jungle. Thoughts? I think, dude, Echo Fox made out like a bandit, dude. They got Dardoch for hard. That is A-OK in my book, man. I love hard, and I respect anybody that gets into the LCS because that means that they're one of the best players in North America. But Dardoch's pretty good compared to him, comparatively. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I tend to find your conclusion reasonable. Oh my god, I can't believe. So the only thing I thought whenever Froggen joins the team, I always ask myself, how good is the jungler? Because I don't think Froggen's ever been able to function on a team without a really, really good jungler. Like it's very hard to do that in the first place as a mid laner, unless you're like shot calling is super good. And I think throughout the years, he hasn't really proved that he's got like let's say the brains of Afromu or something. Someone who's able to shot call from like arguably a much lower demanding position.
So
And
Froggen has to get carried by the jungler
no, I'm just saying the jungle at least has to be good enough to work with
to
him.
carry
I
him.
feel like
I'm just asking you to clarify for the chat what exactly it is you're saying.
I'm saying that he needs a good jungler to work with him, or else they're not gonna win games. Even when he was with Snoopy, Snoopy was still at the time considered to be a pretty good jungler. You know, when he succeeded on elements, Shook at the time was playing really well. Although he's really inconsistent, he's still like a really good jungler when he's on fire. And I think that, yeah, he's always a player who's needed like a really good jungler to back him up.
All right, so you think Dardoch's gonna be the solution then? I mean, I'm pretty hyped. I don't know. I'm a strong proponent of synergy means a lot more than individual skill, and I think Dardoch's a really good player. I think if they have the synergy, they could definitely not go 1-17 this split.
I was the one who said last split, if Echo Fox had a Nori, they would win at least 2 times as many games. Now,
Wow, that is a statement.
well, okay, maybe like 4 times as many games. I think that they really need an aggressive jungler to be able to take control of the game. You know, I think that that's exactly what you're getting with Dardoch. He's excellent. He's one of the best carry junglers in North America. And I think I rate him right now as like the 4th best jungler in North America. And so I agree with you.
You put him as the 4th best above. Wait, who is above him?
Rainer versus Sven, Xmithy. Yeah, those 3 I think are all better.
All right,
They're all better, all more consistent. And then it's Dardoch, I think. Dardoch and Meteos kind of share the same wavelength, in my opinion. Even with Meteos' bad performance in the finals, I still think he's shown himself to be a pretty good jungler. And then it's kind of up in the air. I don't really know what the other people are.
All right, fair enough. But then, do you think the up and comer Arc Second is gonna be putting a little contention in your top 4?
Oh God.
I don't know what the hell they're thinking with this. I'm pretty sure that they just forfeited Gauntlet and they just have to put someone into the roster with Arc Second.
No. This is what their rosters are locked. So, for instance, they couldn't get like Golden Glue or anyone else to join their roster. It was completely locked with like Arc Second, so they had to use him, from what I understand. And on my personal opinion on this is that I think Phoenix jungles really well. And putting like a new player in LCS on an off role seems very counterintuitive.
Wait, so you think they're gonna have Phoenix in the jungle, Arc Second?
No. I'm saying they probably should try it, and they probably did try it, and it didn't work out very well. So they decided to stick with what works, and then use Arc Second. I think, you know, honestly, I think this is good for Arc Second because there's nothing he can do that could be bad. If he sucks in the jungle, he could just be like,
I mean, I feel like that's not that good. I feel like if your first performance in the LCS is you just blowing complete dick, I don't know, man. I feel like that doesn't lend to a great reputation onward.
Well, I mean, honestly, at the moment, a lot of people ask me how good Arc Second is right now, and I think he's not even in like the top 4 challenger mid laners. He's been in NACS multiple times, and he's shown like okay performances, but he's never been like the super hard carry. You know, no one really looks for him as the first decision to make as a step down from LCS to challenger. You have people like Golden Glue, Blaze Alive, Peking Wolf, even Demonte, players who I think that are just have better performances and are just generally better rounded players than he is. And so I think that's why I'm saying I'm glad he's able to get this competitive experience because it'll make him probably just a better, more rounded player. And as long as he doesn't completely shit the bed, like, what are the expectations for Liquid here? Like, seriously, if you're a Liquid fan, you may give them 1 game. Like, maybe bust out the Jungle Cho'Gath. And by the way, that's the only jungler he played before he switched. So he busts out his Jungle Cho'Gath. He like sneaks a Baron steal by like flashing over the wall and eating the Baron when Liquid does it, and then they win the game. But like, in all honesty, what's probably going to happen is you guys at best are hoping to win 1 game.
Yeah, I feel like they just forfeited it and they have to put someone in because they can't actually forfeit. So they just put Arc Second. They put whoever's in their sub roster. Hey, just fill out the jungle and let's just get this shit over with.
Yeah, and like look at the upsides for Liquid. They have no more. Like, I'm not gonna say they have no more fans anymore, but they have no one has any kind of like high expectations.
Your upsides are so. How is that an upside? No one expects anything from you if you just feed your ass off. It's whatever, man.
Well, because you gotta look at the bright. You gotta look at the bright side and all the darkness.
That's a bright side.
If we're talking about Arc Second coming in and jungling, Team Liquid losing their one of their only carry methods, like, That's the bright side, you know. It's hard for me to really look at the like. There's a lot of negatives, you know, a lot of negatives. Like we could just spend the whole show talking
Yeah.
about the negatives, but I think that with such low expectations coming in, if they even beat Envy, then that would be like a
There's
step
no
up for
way
them.
in
Like
hell they do it.
that's a good play for them.
All right, fair enough. I guess you're a glass half full kind of guy. I mean, don't you think that you're saying Arc second? You don't think he's top 4 challenger, but he's rank 1 in North American solo. Like, you don't think that has any translation to competitive play?
Uh, I, I think it does to some extent, especially in terms of mechanics, but just from everything that I've seen in ACS and just from talking with people, like the other players have much better like scrim gameplay, like in-game gameplay, like challenger scene gameplay. Overall, I think he's missing a certain component that really to like separate himself from like the top of even the challenger scene, let alone the top of the North American mid lane ladder when you got like Bjergsen, Jensen, Pobelter clash like battling out at the very summit. I think, and this is really funny, that a lot of mid laners actually ended up quitting the game because a lot of mid laners realized that mid lane is the import slot for NALCS. So their chances of getting into NALCS is so slim. I know a lot of mid laners who ended up either switching roles or not looking to go competitive anymore, which is really honestly kind of depressing. But
Yeah, it's
that's
kind
just
of
the state.
sad.
That's just how it is right now.
Yeah, you know how that shit goes. All right, fair enough then. So we can conclude Echo Fox Dardoch thumbs up Team Liquid. Hopefully 2017 we see something nice from him.
Yeah, thumbs up 2017. There we go.
All right, let's move on to the next topic then. Is there a problem with IMT turning down TSM for scrims leading up to the finals? So give us a quick look for people that don't know about this. Can you give us a quick little rundown of this?
Okay, Doublelift in the post game interview and in the press conference ended up saying that Immortals didn't want to play them, or because Immortals, from what I understand, didn't want to they wanted to make sure that their Gauntlet opponent was like as bad as they could be, and they tried to essentially make it so like whatever happens, they have the highest chances of going to Worlds, and it just so happens that means that they don't play TSM. That's just kind of what happened. And recently, there's been some more EU drama just today, just before the show, where UL gets all its scrims canceled on by both Fnatic and Splice, and so there's a lot of like scrim canceling drama or scrim drama in general.
All right.
Personally,
I mean, you want to go? I'll go. I don't think it's that bad to avoid scrim. Like everyone's done it from when we play competitive, dude. Everyone used to. If it didn't make sense to scrim like why would you scrim someone that you're gonna have to play against? It just doesn't make any sense. I don't think it's that bad. Canceling the scrims is a fucking dick move, and that's pretty messed up. You shouldn't choose to scrim a team and then at the last minute, oh, never mind, dude. Just kidding about that.
Wait, okay. You didn't handle scrims when we played together. I was the person who handled all the scrims. The amount of times I got canceled on was unbelievable.
I mean, I know how many times we got canceled on. How many days we had of no scrims was like ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like especially in LCS, if you're not considered a good scrim partner, people just won't scrim you, like straight up. Like a good example is like a lot of people chose to dodge LMQ in scrims because when you play against LMQ, Vasily literally like
just feeds.
He puts on his Tyler 1 impression and just like runs it down bot lane. Like I'm not even kidding. You can ask anyone who scrimmed LMQ at the time. They like to call it chaotic. I like to call it in
feeding.
and they pull it. They like play great during like playoffs and all that shit. But if you scrimmed them, it was almost a complete waste of your time. And then on top of this, I got the more the worse you do with LCS, the less scrims you're gonna get. Just by naturally, the best teams only want to scrim the other best teams. So let's say when Dig was playing really poorly, we were around like I don't know, like 4th, 5th in the middle of the pack. A lot of top teams cancel scrims on us or like refuse to scrim us because we weren't good enough. I think that scrims in general, like that shit happens all the time. When I see drama about this stuff, I'm just like, this is what's been happening for like 3-4 years ever since the scrimming started. The only thing that I thought was interesting actually was Europe scrim times are awful. So
When
If
do
you
they
play in North
scrim?
America, you typically scrim at least 2 blocks. You start at noon and you scrim like noon to 3 or noon to 4, and then like 5 to 9, whatever, 5 to 10, whatever. Two best of 5 blocks, something like that. In Europe, you start at 3 p.m. and you play 5 games against another player. It's not even the best of another team, just one team. It's not even from what this is what you call it. Was it Impure tweeted at me. So he's the head analyst of Misfits, if I remember correctly. He says this is the scrim thing that's been happening like all year. And for me, that's like a much bigger problem than what's going on right now, because I don't know how you're supposed to get, like, not only does that
Wait, they
mess up
only
like
do
sleep
one
schedules.
block of scrims?
Yes, and he says they commonly cancel after the fourth game. So European scrims seem really bad to
What
me,
the
and I think
hell?
that's like a much bigger point people should be taking away from this than any of the other kind of stuff. Because you choosing not to scrim someone is completely within your right. You know, it happens all the time. Like, it's not even like it's not even a joke to say it happens like on a week by week basis
Yeah,
for
it's
most.
so standard. Like when I heard there was drama about this, I was like, "What the hell, dude? This has been going on for like 5 years since we first started playing this game competitively."
Yeah, I think definitely my takeaway from this is that Europe only scrims 1 block a day against one team, and the fact that, like, especially on the European drama side, that because Splice and Fnatic canceled all their scrim blocks with one team, suddenly one team's left out of the picture, and then Tony, the coach of COG, even chimed in his stuff and said, it's possible to scrim more than one team a day, and that's what I initially thought too, but apparently that's not how Europe scrims. I think that's really, really confusing, if not very interesting, because
What do you
I
mean
think,
interesting? That sounds like it doesn't make any sense. Why would you just scrim one
yeah,
team?
it's just really confusing because I don't know. Like, for instance, TSM scrims 3 blocks, and so they scrim like 12, 14 hours. They do VOD review and scrim 2 or 3 blocks, and because of that, like, when I make the comparison between possibly the best North American team and like the European scrim schedule, it's like night and day. I'm even impressed how good G2 is with that kind of practice regimen in the background, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean that sounds impressive for European teams. If they're only playing like like how long would that even be? It'd be like 3 hours of scrimming. Like
I think it's like 5 hours of scrims, four hours of scrims.
yeah, most North American teams they play like 8 to 10 hours of scrims. That's pretty impressive that they could do that well. I mean, honestly, if I was on a North American team, I would love to have that kind of scrim schedule.
Yeah, start scrims at 3 p.m. Holy I remember when we were waking up at 10 a.m. to
Yeah.
put in one game and then make sure we eat before our noon scrims. Okay, enough about that, Kitty. Hit us with the next topic.
All right, next topic coming right up. After the lane swap patch, are games more enjoyable to watch as a spectator? What about to play? You can start us off, Scara. I
I
think,
think I think it is. I think it's great. I actually really like watching standard lanes, because I just get to see cool stuff like TSM versus C9 game one, where all 3 lanes die solo. And I didn't really get to see that beforehand. I really like interactive games where you interact like at the early game. It does take away a little bit of, like, I don't know, macro decision making in terms of 1v2s. And I still don't like the timing of it. I still think that was terrible. However, I think as a spectator, I really enjoy watching it. I think it's good for the spectator side of the game.
yeah, I love watching these games so much more. I like watching, like, the best thing about watching League is watching individual matchups, seeing, like, Bjergsen versus Pobelt or, like, Wild Turtle versus Doublelift, all that kind of stuff. And, I mean, you get it in the lane swaps, but it's just so learned already. There's nothing interesting that happens in the lane swaps. It's like the first 10 minutes is always the same garbage, and then it's just from their decision making, which I mean is cool to watch, but I just want to watch someone get smashed in lane 1v1. That stuff's so much more enjoyable.
I think it really helps translate to like a player perspective as well. Because when I play, like, I don't lane swap in my ranked games. Like, maybe like one in a million, some team comes out like, we gotta lane swap this because top lane's like actually ridiculous. But for the most part, you never lane swap in ranked, and so being able to see like what actually plays out game by game, like, lets you kind of, or lets me specifically connect with them a little bit better. I think to play though, it's actually really interesting. I really wanted your opinion on this because I I love being able to. If I win my lane, I go bot lane, smack bot lane, and then push to get the tower. Like literally, this happens every game. But I think, however, the gold it gives is actually too much. I think you can get up to
It's
650
so
gold
much. It's
for
six
one
twenty
person.
five. Yeah, it's 625 that you could funnel straight into one person. I love it because now if you smash your lane, so before when I used to play, I just never touched the tower. I'd just be like, whatever, I'm just gonna farm this champion. But now I'm just taking the tower. I'm rotating out. I'm like, hey everybody, let's go and do some map rotations now that I got my tower. Like it forces me to be more active than how I was before, and I think it's just so much more interesting of a play, at least for like solo queue, where I can just smash my lane and then just go smash someone else's lane. So I'm in love with it. I agree. It's way too much gold, and it's definitely like I played a game today where I won my lane and then I had a 7 minute a 7 minute ghost blade versus a level 4 Caitlyn. I
Wait,
was just
7 minute ghost blade?
yeah, I was like, this shit doesn't make any sense at all, but I'll take it, dude. I love this patch, but the gold definitely is too much on the turret.
I think it should say something that in NA and EU LCS combined, there were 17 games played, and 15 of the 17 games, the team that got the first tower won the game. However, that the team that gets the first tower may just be better. Like that's not a definitive stat, and that's not like a thing that I'm gonna use as like my primary means of like this is the reason. This is like perfect proof. It's just an interesting stat to show alongside. I do think if they tone down the gold to maybe like 400, it'd be a lot more reasonable. But yeah, 625 right now, absolutely insane.
I would like if they kept the same amount of gold, just because it does force you to like want to make the play on the tower. Like I need to tower dive this guy. I need to do something, because if you don't do it to them, they'll do it to you. And that stuff can start to snowball really hard when they get that individual turret gold. So I'm okay with it. I want to see it a little bit more. I think it's a little broken, but I don't mind if things are a little broken.
Oh, okay,
personally.
okay. I'm down. I like the idea in the game. I think it's really smart. It's really cool to play with and watch. I guess we'll see. I would personally like to get toned down, but you're a wild dog, dude. You want to keep it at 625? That's okay with me.
Yeah, I want to see some people really just getting punished for having garbage lanes personally. So, we'll see what happens with that. But let's move on to the next topic. Do you think the spring split point system for Worlds is fair? This is like the stupidest thing that I see commented on, but you can go into it.
Okay, so everyone who's watched the show or knows me knows I have ties with COG. I'm not like a COG shield, but I used to be their ex-coach, so I have relations with COG. Obviously, in this situation, I'm going to say COG deserves to go to Worlds. But let me just put it this way. This is kind of confusing to me. I would understand the people being super mad if COG just got absolutely dumpstered in playoffs. Like, let's say Immortals 3-0s them the entire time. Huni's like 25-0. Like Pole Belter is like 20-0. They're literally teabagging them at their Nexus. Like, if that was the case, I could see a great argument for people to be like, C9 Immortals should auto qual. In fact, why don't we just send COG to the dumpster? But the games are really close. Like, they went to 5 games, and it's just that people also like the storylines of C9 and Immortals. That this is because they both went to 5 games. That this is even a question. I think that yes, in a situation where the meta shifts so much, spring split shouldn't count as much as summer split. However, I feel like having consistency over a course of a year should be rewarded. Maybe not as much as it is now, but I think if anything, COG did a lot for the region itself during this year. You know, they second placed MSI, they won the regions. The biggest thing I have to say, I guess it comes down to just this: if Immortals or C9 wanted to go to Worlds, they should have just won.
Yeah, like I don't understand how people can complain about like, do you just not want spring split? Do you want it to go back to just being a worthless split where no one cared about it? Because that's how it used to be. Like they won it and then they got second place at MSI. Like, what more do you want from these guys that they deserve to go to Worlds? Like, I agree with you. If they got absolutely just hammered, I would be like, maybe there's a problem here. But they even put up a fight. Like, I didn't think they were gonna beat IMT. So when they lost to it, I was just like, all right. But like, they put up a fight and it looked decent, and they've shown they can perform on a world stage against other top tier teams from different regions. So like, what's the problem with letting them just go to worlds? Like, why do you? I haven't seen anything from IMT that's like, wow, they need to go to worlds right now. If they're not going to worlds, North America is doomed. It's like, come on, man, just let's see what CLG's got to offer us. I mean, do you think that something should change about spring split point system?
Maybe the point system can be worth a little bit less. But however, I like the point system because having a meaningless spring split is so bad. At least for me personally, like it's obvious when people just aren't into it, you know. And so like maybe if the point system could be a little bit worse in the spring split, maybe people would complain a little bit less, and then maybe a little bit more balanced. However, I don't really mind the system that it has right now. Like, I don't see anyone on the teams being like, it's unfair COG gets to go, because like they may grumble and they may complain, but like all of them know that like, man, if they wanted to go to the Worlds, we should have just won more games. Like,
yeah, actually, like at the end of the day, if you want to go to Worlds, you got to earn your way there. Like, okay, CLG didn't earn their way there, but whatever, man. They did it spring split, so it still counts. If they did anything to spring split, I saw someone said they should do for a spring split like a major style, where it's just, we were talking about this last time, but it's just tournaments that lead up to like a big tournament or something, and then just have summer split LCS regularly. I thought that'd be a cool idea to help with burnout and stuff like that. But if it just stays the way that it is now with the spring split, summer split, I don't see a problem with the point system. And I mean, I'm totally okay with it. If you get first place summer split, you're obviously doing something right. I mean, if you get third place or fourth place in spring split and then you end up qualifying for world, I don't see a problem with that. I mean, is there a problem with that?
Just by basis of how CLG got in, it's like essentially what is the most common occurrence is if you win first place in spring, you need to at least be top 4 to guarantee your spot. So if you're top 4 in the summer split, that should mean you're one of the top 4 teams in North America. So if anything, the worst case scenario is that it's off by 1 spot. And I think that, that sucks. But that's the worst case scenario. And in this situation, I think the 3rd and 4th place are close enough to where it would be difficult for you to be like, this is the definitive 3rd place team.
Yeah, I just can't believe people would complain about this thing. Like, dude, if you busted your ass in summer or spring split, and then you just realize, oh, this shit's worthless, dude. Like, summer split's gonna be worth 1 million points. Don't even waste your time. Be like, why did I even buy? Why am I even playing in spring split? I might as well just play in summer split. Just don't even bother trying. Like, I just can't fathom a world where you could complain about this.
I remember who made the statement like that in Europe. I think Origin made this. Someone from Origin made this statement about how like summer split is really the split that matters. And in the end, it's true. You know, even though COG got all their points from the spring split, or a lot of their points from the spring split, you know, they're still able to make top 4 to be able to go to Worlds. And in the end, that's all that really mattered for them.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe me bringing out Origin, not a good point because they're relegated right now. I think they're out of the LCS, so let's not talk about them.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, the most important thing, like, if a team wants to go to Worlds, just win every game. Like, if you can do that, you deserve to go to Worlds. If you can't, just shut the hell up and don't complain. And their fans don't complain either.
Amen.
All right, Abel, let's move on to last week's predictions. The Pie predicts better than Scar. Should Scar resign with great shame from the Score Esports? Scar, you thought, all right, get a load of this, chat. Scar thought CLG was going to beat IMT. Can you guys believe that?
Dude, this is, oh my God, this is complete BS. I guess that CLG would go 3-2 against IMT, and it was just the flip. The scoreboard's wrong. Whoever does production is
Dude,
garbage. Just don't worry
that's
about
not
it.
how it works.
Don't like. I'm just saying it came down to a game 5, and then COG just like crumbled under the pressure. But it was really close up. You guys the 3-1 Immortals, man. And just
Yeah,
because
I thought Darshan. I mean, they stuck him on Shen every game, and he pretty much did as bad as I expected. But I thought Huni would do some. I don't know what's been up with like the IMT team. I just don't know if they can't perform during playoffs. But even Rainover was looking. He was looking questionable that series. I just wasn't feeling either team at the end of that one.
the thing that impressed me the most is actually that Xmithy was the better jungler, I think 4 or 5 games. Like just straight up, Xmithy like smashed Rainover. And I expected it to be like more of an even matchup. It was more of like half of it was just Xmithy just doing whatever he wanted. And Rainover was the one struggling to like really catch up. Even if you look at game 5, Xmithy had the better route, or I can't say better route because Rek'Sai is just a better champion than Gragas early. So he had the earlier route to bot lane, and then Stixxay just killed himself right as Rek'Sai showed up. Like that was a great macro play or great rally by Xmithy, and their bot lane just kills themselves. Like that's not Xmithy's fault that they did that. That was just really unlucky. Like I was probably most impressed with, or I guess the most unexpected thing was just that Rainover didn't play that well. And for a person that I think is the best jungler in the West, him having like such a bad showing in this playoffs 3rd place match is really surprising. Whereas Huni kind of really stepped it up. I feel like there's a reason why he got series MVP. Sure, he could have carried the games harder, but he did a lot of work with Echo. I think he really shines in situations where his flanking is super good. Like he's so good at TPs and fighting team fights from like flank positions. I think he's almost like the best in North America at doing that. And so I think that he really played to his strengths in the series.
Well, what do you think about Darshan? Like, we used to be on a team with Darshan. I love watching Darshan carry and watching him being stuck on Shen every game and just getting pounded and abandoned top lane. I couldn't stomach watching that, man. It was just too much.
I interviewed him. He's just like, you know what he says? He says, I love playing Shen. I'm just like, he hates himself right now. So I would have preferred if he took just a counter pick Echo matchup. Like it was super obvious. They preferred Echo over Shen. COG, I think in 1 or 2 drafts, even tried to see what Immortals drafting priority was. They left up Shen and were just like, take it. Like, do you want to take it? It's here. Have it. And they didn't. So they were able to pick up a later rotation Shen. And Shen's not a bad champion. However, one of those games I really feel like, man, Echo should just get punished because you know what beats Echo? Stuff like Fiora. And you know who plays a good Fiora? Darshan. So I'm hoping that we'll see more carry performances from him in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to see him at Worlds playing Shen. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, put this man on a carry because that dude can carry. I remember him carrying my ass, so I want to see him back to the days of glory. And then TSM versus C9. What'd you think about that one? The final.
It should have been a 3-0 TSM. They trolled first game. Like I got the prediction right, and I'm saying they messed around first game. I've never in my life, watching every single game of NALCS this split, I've never seen a team get solo killed in all 3 lanes before without jungle interaction ever. And especially even when TSM was playing Echo Fox, it didn't happen. And in the finals match with much closer team, what happened was everyone on TSM just died in lane. And I'm just like, well, I watch it being like, what's happening? Like, did C9 pay them off? Like, what is happening? I have no idea. And so, yeah, I even talked to Reggie a little bit about it. And TSM has this really weird thing where in series, they always lose the first game and they come back and win. And so maybe it's a little bit of that curse going on, but I thought that first game was just complete BS. And
yeah, I'm surprised C9 even won a game. Like, I wanted to go 3-0 TSM. I said it was gonna be again when I made this prediction. I wanted to say it'd be C9 because then CLG would have to fight for their spot. But TSM, I think in every matchup, it's a lot better for TSM.
No,
so.
I will say almost, except for the fact. Holy shit, Impact is a monster.
Oh, yeah, Impact was popping off that series. Yeah, dude, Impact was making Hanser his bitch. I like that stuff.
Yeah, no. Impact was if I could give MVP, this is one of the first finals or first series I've watched where I give MVP to the other team. When Sarah got MVP, I literally paused for a moment, looked at the other people in the media press room, and was like, "Wait, what?" But Riot will never give MVP to the losing team, and just like naturally, you don't ever do that for the most part. And so they had to choose someone that I think Sven did a really good job. I think Meteos kind of ruined himself during that series when they killed himself like on Zach, but he still did a good job of taking advantage of it. But I thought if there was a clear series MVP, like Impact was almost like, you know, that term that Europe uses, that's the 1v9. Impact was the 1v9, and he just couldn't finish it out because literally at one of the games, Doublelift played like some of the best team fighting he's ever played in his life, and so that's why they won like the closest game of this series. And so, yeah, unfortunate that Impact couldn't carry everyone on his team, but at least he looked really, really good, and I'm excited for Gauntlet.
Yeah, I'm pretty hyped up for Gauntlet too. But then let's get underway for the Gauntlet then. The first game, the one and only. This is probably the highest chance of a Clown Fiesta. Envy versus Liquid. With such a long break, how much would both teams have improved? Do you think they're just gods now?
Oh my, I don't know. But the thing is, it's like, this is the biggest question mark for everyone involved because every other team, you've already seen them play. So the TL and Envy, like, you have no idea what they've been doing. Maybe they've been in the lab cooking up some special stuff for the series or for this Gauntlet. And, you know, and everyone looks at C9, they're like, look, remember the Cinderella story. And the thing about Cinderella stories is that you only remember that one because it never happens again. It's the exception. And so I don't expect either of these teams to go all the way, but I'm willing to.
Really? You don't? Wait. Let's just talk about this matchup, Scar.
Okay,
I think.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. In this matchup, I expect Envy to win, and I think.
You think Envy is gonna beat Arc second in the jungle?
I think Proxton's actually really good, and it's really hard for me to rate junglers after Xmithie because players like Proxton exist, and I think he's like fairly underrated as well. He's like a mini version of Rush, and I think that he's amazing. Like, he's actually really, really good. And for like, I could see if maybe Arcsec was going against someone who wasn't as aggressive, but Proxton is the guy who will literally be in your jungle. If you mess up on your routing and your shit doesn't work out, he will take your jungle. And if you're there, he'll take your life too. And so I think that, yeah, this isn't great matchup for TL. Maybe they can pull it off though. Like, I'm
just not seeing it for TL, man. They've got two people, Arc second and Jinth. They're using Jinth now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Arc second and Jinth. I don't know if Jinth has played any in the LC. I mean, he played the game. Yeah. And then Arc second, fresh to the LCS. I just cannot see them winning any of these games. Jinth, he had a moment of brilliance when he was playing. He flashed on CLG's bottom lane, but he didn't keep track of their summoners, flashed into the tower. I remember Stixxay just used heal and shot him once and killed him. I was so hyped for Jinth, and then he just did the most boosted play I've ever seen. I was just like, I can't watch any more of this shit. So
I think Jin suffers from a lot of things that happen from when you're playing a lot of scrims and solo queue to LCS performance. If you go over aggressive in LCS, the jungle will be down there on your ass. Like, and so the first game, you know, they played really well in lane. Like, they were on the like tip,
the cusp. They almost had it.
No, they actually outlaned them up until Jinth killed himself. Like, if he didn't even use summoners, they were like so boned because they outlaned them by that much of a degree. However, the next game, Xmithie just, I think, one round at bot lane and killed them when they went up. So I'm hoping in the 2 weeks or so he's had to practice, he's able to like kind of eliminate a lot of those solo queue and scrim mentalities, and he's able to come into this game like a much more refined player. I actually was really impressed with his 2 game showing. I guess, well, one of the 2 games. I was
impressed with the first game. Just the fact that he was like winning the lane. I was like, wow, dude, this is his first performance and he's doing pretty well versus Stixxay and Aphromoo. Like, maybe this kid's got something. Like flashing into the turret though, that's like inexcusable. That was just the stupidest shit I've seen in a while. So
Dude, that's the pressure getting to him, man. I actually the look was good if the other person didn't flash his I
I
think
mean, the
boomerang
thing
or
is though,
something.
is like you gotta keep summoners, man. Like, how do you not keep track of this?
Well,
Like you,
he tried to do the Ash W flash to surprise the other person, but he W flashed and then the other person just flashed, and so he like was hoping that that Stixxay would react slow, and Stixxay didn't, and so he died. And so
yeah,
yeah, I think hoping your opponent plays bad is not a great maneuver, and not one that I would be willing to say you should do a lot. But he's at least semi impressed me. I think Fabi, outside of hitting his arrows with almost a 100% chance, hasn't looked very good. And I actually have kind of decently weird expectations, decently high weird expectations of this person. Arc Second Juggle, like I said before, complete question mark. No idea what he's going to pull out. Does he pull out his Juggle Cho'Gath? 99% says no. But maybe, And I think that they can win. A lot of it comes down to just how Phoenix and Lorlo play. Phoenix and Lorlo are. I think Lorlo, people really slept on Lorlo. He's gotten so much better this split, and he's one of the most improved players.
yeah. I think
Oh,
Lorlo's
yeah.
great, but don't you think that most of it comes from the synergy with the jungle? Like I thought Lorlo Dardoch was a great combo. I don't know
Yes,
how.
I was just about to say that. I thought Lorlo Dardoch was probably one of the best top jungle duos or in terms of synergy in the league. And now that he's missing Dardoch, who pressured his lane a lot, especially when he was playing Aurelia, oh, I don't know what to really expect. One of the big things that I hope to see from this series is that Team Liquid had kind of really bad adaptations to the meta. Like they didn't play gameplay, they didn't play any of like the really, really important champions to play. And I really hope that at least Lorlo has kind of increased his champion pool, because at the time he was only most comfortable taking the Nara Aurelia matchup. I don't think that's a matchup you want to be giving up. Like I think Lorlo is a person who I want to be playing gameplay, who I want to see playing Gnar, who I want to see playing Rumble. And so I hope that at least his champion pool has brushed up, and it should have for this series to make it a good series. I'm saying though, I think Envy is gonna win. I think just in general, their top lane synergy in terms of like initiation, super clean. All the 3 Korean players, and I just don't see. I think they have had a really big draft problem throughout the series or throughout the split, where they don't play meta champions. They just play like these wonky ass like multi-flex picks like Lissandra Cannon. However, they can still win with that. Like they showed they can win with both Lissandra Cannon, because the comp is just busted when you have both of those. And so even if they play off meta, like their ability to flex makes their drafting very unique. And I think that I give them the edge just because TL has all kinds of random roster problems. I'll say they win 3-1.
You think three? Wow, you think Team Liquid's gonna win a game?
Yeah, I mean, I give them the benefit of the doubt. I know Phoenix is good. I know Lorlo is good. I know Arc Second can still Baron with Cho'Gath ulti. So I think that one game they win, they can do it, And I hope I'm right. This is like the finals thing where I hope C9 wins. I hope, dear God, that TL just comes up and shuts me up. They're like, this snack.
You hope they win. I hope they don't. If Team Liquid wins with just 2 random people playing for them now, I'd feel bad for the players on Envy, man, because that's just disrespectful.
But I'm here to encourage the Cinderella story. Like we gotta sell, dude. I'm the ride shield that has to like script this shit out. Like so, if they win and they do the Cinderella run back all the way to Worlds, wouldn't that just be like the cherry on top of the TL split? The only roster that doesn't have Piglet, that doesn't have Dardoch, is the one that's able to make it to Worlds.
Yeah,
I don't think it's gonna happen, but who knows, man.
All right, I'll give it for this one Envy 3. I don't think Team Liquid has a fucking chance. If they do end up winning games, I will be very surprised and very disappointed with Envy, but I don't think Team Liquid has a chance of winning this series. So we'll move on to the next one. So now let's assume Envy Team Liquid versus Cloud9 in the next round 2 of the gauntlet. So let's start off with Team Liquid versus Cloud9. How's that sound? How's
I
that sound?
think
Meteos versus Arc second in the jungle. Who
even
wins?
with Meteos not playing very well in the playoffs, I would still give Meteos this matchup 10 out of 10
Are there
times. Like,
any matchups in this?
okay, if Impact plays like he does in the no chance Impact's best top laner in North America, possibly in the West if he plays like he did in the finals. I think he's just the best. And so Jensen, nope, Jensen. I think Jensen's better than Phoenix. Meteos, no, I think he's better. Let's go to the bot lane. I think, ooh, I think Smoothie's really good, and I think Sneaky's better than Jinth. And so I almost want to say across the board, I don't see C9 losing this game if they play against
Team Liquid.
TL. I don't see it happening.
So you think 0% chance Cloud9 versus Team Liquid 3-0 Cloud9?
Yes.
All right, I'll give it 3-0 Cloud9 too. That one's not even worth discussing, honestly. But now let's go Envy versus Cloud9. This is another matchup where
I want to give this to C9 just straight up. However, I will say though, if Meteos is playing bad in this series, Proxen will definitely take advantage of it. Like I'm telling you, he's a very aggressive jungler. He's able to create plays, and I think if Meteos slips up, like he did in finals a couple times, then Proxen can make this series a little bit close. And I think Haku and Law, people typically sleep on this bot lane a lot. Like I think people just think that their bot lane is like kind of average, and that could be true. However, they've been playing fairly well throughout the whole split. And I think unless they're really playing against someone like Double with Biofrost, and even though Sneaky was able to beat them, like solo kill them in that one first game, that was just kind of weird. I think that they're more than easily hold up against their counterparts here. And
you think you think bottom lane then Sneaky, Smoothie, Lord Hakuo, you think that's an even matchup?
I definitely give it to C9's bot lane for sure, but I think that it's close enough to where they can just go even. And if they go even, then it's up to the top side, right? I give top side the Impact. The guy's a monster, dude. Literally 1v5 in games. But jungle could be Proxen, and so I think that's really interesting. And the Ninja and what's about Phoenix have very different types of play styles. Ninja's like the type of guy who will roam the lanes a lot, especially on Lissandra, and just hard carry side lanes. Whereas Phoenix is more the guy to really like push in his lead and put damage on your mid tower. I think of Phoenix kind of like Jensen, where Jensen doesn't really roam as much, but his lane dominance is very good. However, I just think Jensen's just like a better version of Phoenix. Jensen's like as good as you can get in that one direction, and Ninja plays more of like maybe Huhi style, where he can win lane, but his roams are what keeps his team in the game. And so I think there's at least like unique facets of Envy's play that can make them win this series. However, when I think of the TL matchup, it's very, very hard for me to see where they would win. It'd have to be a bot lane.
Be a clown fiesta.
Yeah, it'd have to be really, really strange.
So what exactly do you think would be Envy's win condition against Cloud9 if they were to win this game?
Proxen goes off. Meteos plays a bad series, and it's literally just their top side transitions a snowball lead onto the side lanes, and the side lanes come in and team fight.
So you think this is going to be a top lane oriented game?
100%. I think just in general, Proxen doesn't gank bottom as much just because like communication issues, right? So he can gank mid and top a lot easier. And I think mid and top have shown that they're really, really good at being able to snowball their leads into other lanes. And so I think this is definitely going to be a top focused game. Well, at least for Envy. Meteos has this weird thing where he never goes top lane. He only ganks bot lane. So they will try to win from bot side or mid. Whereas, yeah, I think Envy will win this through top side. If Impact has a bad game or Meteos has a bad game, I think definitely Envy has a chance.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Impact hold the zone in 1v2s against, I think, much better combos of top and jungle. So I got to give it to C9 here. I agree. The only way that they win is if they can somehow just pound Impact into the ground. But I don't think that's possible for them. I'll give it 3-0 Cloud9. What about you?
I'll give 3-1 for Envy. I think they have a chance.
You give 3-1 for everyone, man.
No. I only give 3-1 to the teams I think I have. If I think...
You think Envy has a chance to win this entire series?
it's there.
All right, fair enough. I'm giving it 3 on Cloud9, though. Let's go.
Okay.
Gauntlet round 3, baby. We're just assuming now that Cloud9 just wins it all because that's most likely what's going to happen. So now IMT versus Cloud9. Reignover and Pobelter haven't had the great playoff performance compared to regular season. Will they bounce back? Dude, IMT, I don't know what it is when they play in playoffs, but every one of their players are just, I see them in the regular split and I'm just like, wow, they're so good. Like, I can't wait to see them just perform later on in playoffs and at Worlds. And then they get to playoffs and it's just, I don't know if they just get the jitters or what, but it's just like, as a bottom lane, like watching Wild Turtle, I'm like, dude, come on, what are you doing, man? This is killing me watching this stuff.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Reignover's had the worst performance in series since I've seen him play in North America, I think. Even in the last third place match, they just smacked TL in Spring Split. However, I think even when the thing is, even when they're losing against TSM, Reignover is the only man making plays. But in the last series, it's especially strange for me to see Reignover not doing well. Like, usually he's the best player on the team. If he's not the best player, he's the second best player. But that series, he was like the third or fourth. And it should say a lot when I felt like their jungler just was not performing. And that's their rock. Like, they need Reignover to be able to like win these games. And if they don't have him, then C9 has a lot of really good ways that they can like I essentially win the series, especially with Impact playing so well. Meteos looking to focus bot side, and yeah, see, Jensen mid is actually so good. At least relative in lane, he is really, really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the bottom lane, so Sneaky Smoothie versus my friends Wild Turtle and Adrian. I'm thinking that my boy, dude, I love that guy back there. I'm thinking that my boys on I give it to Cloud9. Wild Turtle, he just hasn't impressed me recently. He's just the things that he's been doing. I just in team fights and everything in general, it's just been, it's like, come on, dude, clean up, man. You're part of IMT. You're on one of the most promising teams in North America, dude. I want to see some more out of you. Like, he just hasn't impressed me as an ADC in these playoffs. I don't know how you feel about it. How does that guy in the back feel about it?
I think Immortals, at least for the last game, Turtle actually came out really, really strong. However, it was a really big mistake by COG, but you gotta take those mistakes, man. And they took the mistakes, and Turtle like snowballed really hard with it, you know. However, yeah, just overall, Turtles just had like kind of an okay season. Usually, a lot of that isn't, I feel like, their bot lane's fault though. Like, sure, aside from the games where they actually just get solo killed, or they get 20 CS down against like TSM's bot lane, overall, I think that Reignover always goes top side. And recently, when I talked to Huni, they've been practicing Reignover going bot. And I think that that's really, really scary for them to try to change up their play style, at least so close to playoffs and finals. Like, they did it kind of during finals where Reignover didn't go top that much. I think other junglers who are more experienced at that, like, for instance, Meteos or Xmithy, are just going to be able to take advantage of that kind of hesitation that usually Immortals is really, really good at, this instantaneous decision-making kind of stuff, but they can't do that if they don't know how to even play the style. So I'm really... I really hesitant to say that Immortals will win this series. However, I do think it's going to be very, very, very close.
Well, then
3-2.
You think 3-2 in the top lane, Huni versus Impact. That's going to be the unstoppable force versus the immovable rock. And I liked it. I liked Impact last time these guys went head to head. I want to give it to Impact again. What are you thinking, though?
Oh, I think Impact smashes Huni. However, the one big problem about Impact's play is I think that his TP play is not very clean. And I give that so hard to Huni. I think Huni, some of the best TP plays, some of the best flanks of any top laner in NA right now. He plays fantastic from that type of position. let's just ignore the Riven game where he killed himself twice. Like, just completely ignore that. Generally, everything else, he's very, very, very good at TPs. And I think that's a real big hole in Impact's kind of play. Whereas everything else is at like a top tier world class level. His TPs have not really kind of elevated themselves up to that position. And so I think that maybe if the lane goes even and Impact's not like literally dumpstering this guy 3-0 on Gnar, maybe Huni just swings the game back with like just excellent flank plays.
Well, what do you think though that IMT's strategy is going to be? Because last time these guys met, it was pretty much Reignover just throwing everything into Huni's lane and just praying that they kill Impact. And I mean, it didn't really work out because Impact just weathered this storm, just got to late game, and then just won. Or towards the end of the series, he just ended up smashing Huni anyways. You think
this is so weird. Like, especially with me talking to Huni before, I just feel like this is going to be a bot centric game. Meteos automatically camps bot lane. Like, he's just known for camping bot so hard, and just bot side in general. So bot mid, and then I want to say that's when Immortals is trying to learn how to do, and they kind of did it in the COG series, and honestly, I thought that both teams didn't play that well during that series. I thought COG was always had the superior initial look, however, their execution was awful, and then that's why Immortals was able to come back, mainly because COG a lot of times COG just misplayed rather than Immortals was like late to the rotations a lot of the times, especially when they were looking to pressure bot side throughout the series. I want to say this is somehow going to turn to a bot focused series, which is really, really strange. I'm not sure because
I mean, if it turns into a bot focused series, do you think Huni's going to be able to stand up to Impact? Because last time, like, I think in the 1v1, Impact really impressed. Like, he put Huni in the trash can, and I think without jungle pressure, it's going to get really hard for Huni.
I think people underestimate Huni's ability to be self-sufficient. It's just that because he carries so hard with a lead, they send him in the resources, and also because he's got the best synergy with the jungler. However, like in a lot of the CLG games, he didn't really get much help. Top lane was the island lane, right? And if he can get matchups where it's not like Impact like 5-0ing him on Gnar, I think that him being kind of in an island might just be better for Immortals as a team. Like, at least understanding how to play that playstyle will make Immortals a better team. And so I want to say that if top lane is left on an island and Impact doesn't solo kill Huni, Huni can swing the game with TPs for sure. And however, if top lane is on an island and Huni or Impact just starts solo killing him nonstop with Gnar, just like 3-0s him, just like in the against Hanster in the TSM series, then Immortal is going to be in a lot of pain. A lot of pain.
So last time this matchup happened, I thought it was going to be top lane focused. And I mean, it ended up being top lane focused for IMT. And I thought that C9 would win. I agree with you. I think it's going to be a bot lane focused matchup. But I think I want to say now, like, I think that these two teams, they're pretty even overall. The thing that swings it is top lane. And I want to give it to Impact because in the 1v1 matchup, the way that Impact just manhandled Huni was just downright disgusting. And I think that he can repeat that again, especially with how well he's been playing recently. I think he's going to repeat that again. So I want to say that C9 is going to beat IMT again. I want to say it'll be a 3-2.
I will mirror that, but I will say not so much the top lane, although trust me, I know Impact's a monster. I know he's a god. The real thing I'm looking at is both these junglers sucked in their playoff games. Like, I'm not, like, they did not play very well. And a lot of times, the team's linchpins are their junglers, especially Immortals. Like, if Reignover can't play well in this series, Immortals has no chance. And whereas Meteos didn't even play super well in the series, Impact created a chance for C9 to win anyways. Like, Impact was that good. Essentially,
so Meteos is just a non-factor on this team?
No. I'm just saying in that series, like, Impact played so well that he could carry 2 or 3, like 1 to 2 other teammates' bad performances and still have a chance of winning the series or the game, if not the series, which is crazy. Like, that's how good Impact is. I think though, definitely if Reignover doesn't play well, this series is going to be a wash, unless Impact plays uncharacteristically bad. And from what I've seen, Impact is just like heating it up right now. Like he's on fire right now. Like someone cool him down. This guy, oh my god. I think he's gonna do brutal things in this series, but I hope for Immortal's best interest that it's close.
Yeah, I mean, again, like if Cloud9 goes into it playing well, I think that they have it in the bag. And if IMT goes into it playing that they've been playing recently, playing the same way, I think that they lost. So I'm definitely gonna give it to Cloud9 on this one, 3-2. I think it'll be close. You two, the same.
Yes.
All right. Then let's get underway with everyone's favorite Discord Q&A. Ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to join us today. Located down below, there's a link. So what you're going to want to do is click that link, join the Discord. It's going to take you to a little Q&A session. What you're going to do there, type in some questions. What's really on your mind, dude? What are you guys thinking about? Let us know, and we'll start choosing some good questions to answer. So let's go and take a look at what people are putting in right now. This guy, okay, so my boy Skull Bandit, he wants to know, Scar, what is the single thing that Riot can do in the LCS to make the viewer experience better for all of the fans?
Single thing?
Yeah, only one thing, Scara.
I need some time to think. Like, this is a big question, dude. You take it here, and I'll come back. I'll be the second person.
What do I think is the one thing? I think the biggest thing that I hear people complain about is that watching the LCS isn't like playing the game. So like in the LCS, so many, at least when it was lane swaps, it was just night and day compared to your solo queue games. Like you couldn't really watch the LCS and have it be like a solo queue game. So I think if they make it more like solo queue, it would be a lot better for the average viewer.
Okay, I think on production level, Riot Games is like godlike. Like they are the golden standard for esports production. Their production is like whatever you could talk shit about Riot, like whatever their skins, their president, like their system, their point system, their tournament structure, whatever you could say bad about them. I think they've got production on lock. Like their production is just super solid. So nothing from that kind of side. I think a lot of what they can do is more in terms of like marketing or like trying to make it so that there's more reasons why you can watch the stuff. Like having I said this before, holding more events is really really nice to be able to try to combine the casual viewer and the audience that watches LCS. So I know in Dota if you're spectating a game or you watch the game, there's a chance for you to win a prize. I think that's a really, really cool idea. Obviously, I don't want them to go like super crazy with the system where like it's necessary, like everyone's going crazy over like chests and all of that shit. However, I think that from a viewer perspective, it'd be cool to have more of a kind of reason to watch rather than just because you want to play, just because you want to watch competitive league. Like I always like to be able to combine like fan stuff with like being able to tie people with teams.
All right. Zero G Elafox asks, should Riot look to regulate practice schedules to reduce player burnout? I don't feel like that's something that Riot Games should do. I mean, if anything, that'd be something that if a player union ever happened, that'd be something that they do. But I mean, for most teams, they want the best performance out of players. And in their minds, the best performance is if they play like 24 hours a day, never sleep, just grind, work them like animals, dude, until they're dead and decrepit. And then you just switch them out. So I definitely think some practice schedules could use work. I mean, I don't know I'm sure Skara knows better than I do how the practice schedules are now. But it used to be they just work you like a dog.
Right now, the TSM practice schedule is they wake up early, they have 2 hours of VOD review, they scrim 3 blocks, and then they play solo queue. So it's like a 14 hour thing, and it causes extreme amounts of burnout, in my opinion. However, Riot regulates this. no, like this, like that's so random. I don't know why, like why or even how Riot's gonna regulate them. Like they have governing bodies inside every practice room being like, I saw what you did there, dude. Don't play League. Don't even touch League, dude. Play CS:GO. Play Overwatch. Watch the TV. Like I don't see. It's like if Riot Games was they enforce what people eat because like Riot wants to like promote like a better body image. If they were just like, okay, you can only eat 1,000 calories a day, only protein. Don't even let me see you touching that rice. Like it's like maybe in like a really weird like world where Riot controls everything, I could see it happen, but
I
no,
mean, according
I
to
don't
some
even think
people,
it's like
isn't that how the world is?
I don't think it's something that is even theoretically possible in this universe. Maybe in an alternate universe.
Fair enough. It's me, Nick, wants to know opinions on voice comms in solo queue. I would love what, dude. I've talked about this forever on my stream. If voice comms happened, I would love every second of it. But the thing is that a lot of people think that it'd be a negative experience. Like I say, dude, if you don't want voice comms, just don't just mute the mic and just mute the sound and just don't use it. But for everyone else, I think it'd be a great experience. What do you think, though?
I think it's almost necessary because Riot always did this thing where they're trying to promote like solo queue being more like competitive, and the one of the things that defines a great player is their ability to like
Communicate.
yeah,
Communication is like the number one thing. Like people don't understand how important it is to be able to effectively communicate. Like there's a lot of decent players. The thing that separates a decent player from an amazing player is their ability to actually inform their team about their decent plays.
Yeah, oh god. Okay, so this happens a lot in my stream where someone will make a decision and it'll be wrong. Like for instance, I'll be playing bot lane and the AD or the support won't walk up in certain times. I'll get this question a lot from my chat. Scar, why don't you just tell him to do that? And the thing is, it's like I can't because the window is like 1 to 3 seconds. It's like the other team uses the ability and then miss positions, and that's the time where he should be looking to harass. And I can't every single time. If I type that out, him looking at it, reading it, and then going back to the screen is going to be long enough to where like he's almost essentially missed the opening.
Yeah, by the time that you type it out, the opening's already gone. Like especially for any laners, it's just. As soon as they walk up, if you can't say go now, it's already gone. Like trying to type it up like, hey, when he walks up, go. It's like, how far does he walk up? Like, I need more than just when he walks up. Like, you just have to be able to, if you can't effectively communicate with like a real, like, yeah.
Yeah, it's so bad. Even with the junglers ganking my lane, I'll commonly be like, the jungler went too fast, went too slow there, or like went on the wrong angle, and I can't type it out to him because it's like if I'm typing it out, like he will miss potentially another chance to gank, or maybe the mid lane just plays bad and we get the kill anyways. But so like I have to just like watch as it happens, and I know it's gonna be bad, or like it'll be a play where we both commit to chasing a person to the jungle, and everyone's done this before, where you want to say stop, but he's already so committed, like you have to follow him up. And then you both die, and the only thing you can say at the very end is you're just like, I hate this game. Like, this game sucks. and if you have voice comms, you can be like, look, man, I don't think it's cool to chase this guy in here. Like, there could be someone else in here. There could be wolves. There could be other people. Like, we got to be careful. I think voice comms will help a lot to be able to create better players. And definitely, I think that it'd be helpful as well for better, it create better pro players, because then you can practice communication while in solo queue, and you can see the game. You can have people with better game knowledge be recognized for it, and you can actually see what it means to have good calls, good decision making translate in game.
Yeah, like if anything, the best thing that could come of it is it just makes players better overall. Like it just elevates the game for everyone, because now you can see what it's like from someone else's point of view. Like as an AD, if I go for something and I'm like, man, why didn't you go for that? If he's like, oh, well, I mean, this, it's like, oh, okay, well, all right. And if he tells me, hey, cutie, go do this right now, and I do it, it's like, wow, that was a good idea. I should start trying that out for myself. Just like things like that, because you can't see everything on your own, and having someone be able to communicate with you in real time when plays are happening is just, It just helps
I
us
think
so much.
I think the biggest thing is that it would increase people's like it would just make people better players. Like a lot of times you're in situations where you don't know if it's good. Whereas if you have comms, you can explain why it's not good, or you can be like you could teach people how to play the game with voice comms. That's why every team needs like good shot callers and people who are able to relay information correctly, because the value of those people are extremely important. If you ever play with someone who's like super good at communicating, like a good example is if you've watched like Matt Life or Liquid Matt ever stream, he tries to communicate a lot. Like that level of communication is really underrated, and if you could use that to win more solo queue games and as well as teach people how to play better, I think that's only like a plus for people. Like I want to play with better players. I want people to be able to match Bjergsen and be able to match Jensen in lane. At the moment, I don't think there's really many mid laners who could do that, but maybe
Maybe
if
Arc
they
second.
do have maybe if they do have the mechanical skill, like for someone like Arc second, and they're just missing the other aspects like decision making or game knowledge, that's something that they can learn much faster if ranked had a voice communication system.
All right. So we both can agree. I think we both think League of Legends needs some ranked voice chat. Spooky Camel asks, do you think Echo Fox are going to try and get better players on their team after getting Dardak? If so, who do you think they will try to get, and who do you think they will replace?
Can you repeat the question real quick?
Do you think Echo Fox will be looking to sub out any more players after picking up Dardak?
Oh, I think all the comments have always talked about hard and big being the two problem areas of the team. I think that they do need better shot callers. Darduck maybe is that person because he also shot called on Liquid, but maybe having a more vocal support would be helpful as well. I don't know how good Big is. He's just generally seemed to me like kind of like maybe like a more of the bottom end of the LCS. And if they had a better support as well, I could definitely see more Keith's individual skills shining through. However, I don't know honestly who they could pick up.
Yeah, I don't know what support.
Maybe the guy who just walked in.
Yeah,
dude.
Kiwi Kid for Echo Fox. If that happened, I'd say that team had 100% chance to go to World. If they pick up Kiwi Kid Dardoch, that's like the power play move of the century.
Yeah, you guys ever see the greatest synergy between two players ever? That was Cutie Pie and Kiwi. But the second greatest, Dardoch and Kiwi.
Yeah, that would be the jungle support synergy would be off the charts with that one. I would love that. But all right, that we're gonna wrap it up with that one, Scara. We're gonna call it a day. That was Beyond the Rift, episode number 6, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. If you guys liked Beyond the Rift, I want you to go ahead and check out the Discord again, located down below. You can have some chats with some really funny dudes here. Lots of cool, kooky characters. And the one and only Bloody Gaming Equipment. I wouldn't be half the player I was today if it weren't for Bloody, and neither would Scara. So, Bloody.
And you don't even want to see what half of Cutie Pie looks like.
Yeah,
it's
you
really
don't want to see the other half of me. But thank you to Bloody, thank you to Discord, and most importantly, thank you to you guys for tuning in today. It's been a fantastic Beyond the Rift, and we hope to see you tomorrow, or we hope to see you next week when we do this again. Don't we, Scara?
Yeah, absolutely. I hope to see all of you, your friends,
Your family,
your parents. Yeah, just your family, everyone, your dog. Invite him over. Like, I just want to see everyone watching our show.
Agreed. Me too. Scara, where can they find you if they want some more Scara action?
They can find me on my Twitter, which is @DScara. The D is silent because I used to be on Dignitas, but not anymore. And then additionally, you can also find me on Twitch. I stream 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Actually, I'm probably gonna go stream right after this. So if you want to find any more of me, I'll be online within like 30 minutes.
That's who you're gonna want to watch, boys. And for me, your lovely host, I'm a Cutie Pie. You're watching me here. I'm gonna be signing out. Thank you, everybody, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And I love you all. And so does Scara. Peace to everyone.
Amen.